Welcome once more to KCFC. Today we shall be looking into the semi-finals of the Club World Cup, Chelsea against Fluminense. We shall be discussing Enzo Maresca's press conference and what he said in the press conference. We shall be discussing the players and the tactical plan of Fluminense and the players that are going to cause problems if allowed to do so. And then we are going to look at the best players for Chelsea who are going to give us good results, and then finally we'll talk about our score prediction for the game. If you have not joined us, kindly click on the red subscribe button, like the video, and then share widely to your community so that they can enjoy this beautiful analysis. Let's dive right into it. Enzo Maresca was asked about the number 9 shirt and the new players coming in, picking up this number 9 shirt, and if they understand what Drogba has done in that position and what that position requires. And Enzo Maresca said for him, he prefers his forward players to score 40-50 goals in the season than for a particular player to score 40 goals alone in a season. And this goes to tell you that Enzo Maresca is not trying to build his team around one player, because if a player is getting 40-50 goals in the season, it means that that player is very, very important for that team, and when the player is not there, it becomes a problem for the team. So Enzo Maresca is looking at a situation where, enough all his forward players are able to score goals, all his forward players are able to pose as a threat to the opposing team, so that they find it very difficult to plan themselves around one player. They cannot plan themselves around, because these other sides can score, the midfielders can score, even defenders can come and score a goal. So this is very important mentality from Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca was also asked about injury worries, if he has any injury concern, and what weakness of the opponent that he can exploit. And Enzo Maresca said that Jackson is okay, but Romeo Lavia is training but not ready to join the team. So Romeo Lavia will not be available for the game against Fluminense. And then for the weakness of his opponent, he said he's just going to prepare for the game and then put in his best to ensure that Chelsea wins that game. Enzo Maresca was also asked about the temperature of the time selected for that game, and he said that Chelsea just needs to adapt to whatever temperature and weather condition that that game time or that time frame will present to Chelsea, and play the best of their game. Another reporter asked Enzo Maresca if the experience, the wealth of experience of the Fluminense team would pose as a threat to the Chelsea team, because you discover that in the Fluminense team, their players are old. You have the goalkeeper, 44 years, Thiago Silva, the defender, 40 years plus, and many other players are in their 30s, 40s, and all of that. So he was asked if these old players and their wealth of experience can pose as a threat to Chelsea. And Enzo Maresca said that Chelsea happens to be the youngest team in EPL last season, and they played wonderfully well against every other team. They produced results, and he is hopeful that they are going to produce results again against Fluminense. Enzo Maresca was also asked about the transfer rumors around Noni Madueke and if that will influence or unsettle him in the game. And Enzo Maresca said you could see that the last game the rumors were there, but Noni Madueke was given 30 minutes to play and he produced a world-class performance, and so he believes that the rumors are not going to affect Noni Madueke. But then he understands that when rumors like this begins to fly around the player, that it has a way of affecting the player. But from the antecedents, we have seen that Noni Madueke is focused and these things will not affect him or his game. So he's hopeful that if given the chance again, Noni Madueke will produce quality performance for Chelsea. Enzo Maresca was also asked about Thiago Silva, that what does he think about Thiago Silva, and if he prefers or if he wants or wishes that his players would have the experience and perform like Thiago Silva. And Enzo Maresca said no, that he wouldn't want his players to perform like Thiago Silva, that he would want them to perform to the best of their ability, to be themselves and to give their best to the team, but not trying to be like another player. He was also asked about João Pedro and what he thinks about the main position of João Pedro. And Enzo Maresca said that João Pedro, the best thing, the good thing about João Pedro is that he can play in any position in the forward line. So he can play in the left wing, he can play in the right wing, he can play at the center forward, supporting the striker. He can play in all these areas. So João Pedro is a very important player to Chelsea because of this versatility that comes or he brings with his game. Lastly, he was also asked about the Brazilian teams, their players, and what he thinks about their performances. And Enzo Maresca said that the Brazilian teams are a revelation, that they bring out their players are top players, and then you can see the energy that they come in with any game they play, that they have this high intensity, this high energy, and their players are top players. They are performing very well, and it is just a matter of time you begin to see Brazilian players everywhere. So that is it for Enzo Maresca and his press conference. This is all that he was asked, and these are his responses. So now let us now go into the tactical formation of Fluminense. Fluminense, recall that they don't have this positioning of a team. They flood you. That is what they do. Their own tactical disposition is to flood you and then confuse you around that place. And because the way they have flooded you, they are able to pass the ball around themselves and then create chances and disrupt your game plan. So what they do is to always swarm your team, swarm wherever the ball is, and then you get disrupted. But then there are players that are very important to carry out this type of tactical disposition that Fluminense come with. One is their goalkeeper. The experience and the wealth of experience of their goalkeeper is second to none. Fabio, he is 44 years old and he is doing massively well. Remember, in the goalkeeping position, you don't need a young player. In the goalkeeping position, you need an experienced player. That is why you see goalkeepers 30 years, 40 years, they are still performing wonderfully well, because they don't have to run around so many places. All they need is proper positioning, the experience of knowing where the ball is going to, where the possible areas that can be exploited to get the goal. That is it for a goalkeeper. And so the wealth of knowledge of Fabio, who is 44 years old, will pose a serious threat to Chelsea. The second player is Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, we know about. Chelsea understand the game plan of Thiago Silva. You know how experienced Thiago Silva is and how important he is to any team that he is playing for. Look at what he did in Chelsea. Look at how he defended Chelsea. Look at the goal line clearances that Thiago Silva did when he was at Chelsea. He saved Chelsea on countless occasions, and expect to see such display again against Fluminense. And last but not the least, their creative player, Joan. Their creative player who is always, creating chances, opening spaces, dribbling. This is another player that Chelsea will look out for. But I'm very delighted about the Enzo Maresca game plan. He does not prepare for a particular player. He prepares for the entire team. And this is the beauty of the tactical disposition of Enzo Maresca. Let us now look into the possible lineup for Chelsea. If you go at the back, we don't have any other option but Sanchez. We don't have any other option but Sanchez. You could see that there's no new goalkeeper, and we are hoping that Chelsea are going to get a new goalkeeper. If it's for short stopping, Sanchez is trying, he is doing his best, but then distribution of the ball is the problem, is the major problem of Sanchez. He has this sketchy distribution of the ball that most of the time he gives the ball to his opponent, which is very, very worrisome. Now, coming to the back line, at the center back, we have Tosin and Chalobah. Cowell would have been there, but Cowell will be absent for this game. So Tosin, Adarabioyo, and Chalobah will be playing at that center back. And then for the right back, you have Reece James, who is available for the game. But if it's not available, we may most likely use Malo Gusto. And then for the left back, obviously, it is Cucurella. Coming to the midfield, the double pivot of Enzo Fernandez and Romeo Lavia would most likely be the best option for that game. Enzo Fernandez has this tendency to push forward, while Romeo Lavia has this tendency to try to create more balance in the defense. So these both players are going to complement each other in that double pivot role of the midfield. Coming ahead to the attacking midfielder, at that number 10 position, we have Cole Palmer arguably that position. And then for the left wing, most likely we will use João Pedro there. For the right wing, Pedro Neto, unarguably Pedro Neto. And then for the forward line, Liam Delap is missing, so Nicolas Jackson definitely is back. So Nicolas Jackson will fill that number 9 role. This is my own best lineup for Chelsea at this time. For the outcome of the game, the prediction of the game, I seriously do not see Fluminense winning this game. So Chelsea definitely are going to win this game, and I'm thinking they are going to win 2-0. 2 goals to Chelsea and none to Fluminense. Let me know what you think in the comment section about all we have discussed, and then if you have your own preferred team, you can let us know in the comment section. Let's go, Chelsea fans. Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. Let's go. We are going to the finals.